Hi friends, I'm Sapna Agarwal, Creative Director of Ansa Interiors, and today I'm going to talk about focal point in a room. Emphasis or focal points are actually the principles of art that draw attention to a specific location in work. The same principle also applies to interiors. So जैसे आर्ट और इंटीरियर होते हैं उन सब में ना एक फोकल पॉइंट होता है और कई बार मल्टीपल भी होते हैं. The idea of focal point is to concentrate our attention like a bullseye on a target. तो हमारा विजन ना बहुत वाइड होता है बट फिर भी किसी गिवन टाइम पे ना किसी गिवन पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम पे वी कैन ओनली फोकस आवर विजन ऑन अ वेरी स्मॉल एरिया. The emphasis or focal point usually accentuates the concepts, themes, or ideas that the artist or the designer wants to express. A design without a focal point is muted with little or actually no variations. The idea behind emphasis is to create conceptual linkage between the whole design and then softly blend the whole design with the theme. The whole interior of a room becomes a composition and it sings of harmony. So focal point in a room can either be an architectural feature या फिर वो एक artificially created feature भी हो सकता है. जो artificially created feature होता है it could be something like एक special picture है, एक mirror है, probably एक dramatic piece of furniture है. जबकि जो architectural feature होता है वो it can be something like an arch, a niche, a bay, or probably just a contour in the room. The focal point of a living area can either be like a fireplace or probably anything which is large, interesting, or really commanding. It can also be a large picture, window frame, or a view of a garden. You know, some किसी window से आपको एक garden का view दिख रहा है, तो वो भी एक तरीके का architectural feature point हो सकता है. But a special piece of furniture कैन ऑल्सो एक्ट लाइक अ फोकल पॉइंट. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि वो आर्किटेक्चरल में आपके कोई इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स नहीं बने हुए तो आप इंटीरियर में क्रिएट नहीं कर सकते. जबकि होम थिएटर्स में या टीवी रूम्स में प्लाज्मा यूनिट एसेंशियली फोकल पॉइंट बन जाता है. बेडरूम्स में अटेंशन यूजुअली बेड की तरफ जाती है तो द सेंटर ऑफ द बेड इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट फोकल पॉइंट. टू मेक अ बेड मोर इंटरेस्टिंग, so bed linens, curtains, night lamps and accessories can add more drama and interest to the room. किचन यूजुअली जो होती है दे हैव वेरी लिमिटेड स्पेस बट बैक स्प्लैश जो होता है जो दो कैबिनेट्स के बीच में होता है दैट कैन क्लियरली डिमार्केट टू बिकम अ ड्रेस्ड अप पॉइंट और अ फोकल पॉइंट. You can do it by changing the tiles or using a highlighters or having just an SS black splash. These are just a few ideas for inspirations. Overhead cabinet can also host some collectibles. ज़रूरी नहीं है कि सारी cabinets बंद हो, आप उसमें कोई जगह बना सकते हैं which can enhance the look or just incorporate some splash of colors in the overhead cabinet to act like a focal point. Say for example आपकी pure white kitchen है but आपने उसमें एक hint of lime green दे दिया overhead cabinets में, so that itself will become like a desired awe effect. Bathrooms में generally we have highlighter tiles to highlight. The creative way to highlight would be to add niches and use different sets of tiles to emphasize its presence. So वो niche is a very important part. The vanity mirror can also be designed to serve as a focal point. Dining area में जो focal point होता है ना वो generally it has to be the dining table. To keep the dining table very impressive and to make it like a statement, I think a pretty tablecloth coordinated with table napkins, those fresh flowers and matching plates and bowls, they all add that amazing effect. And somehow वो जो dangler होता है ना, that light is very important for the table. Hallways or passage are generally the most boring area of a residence. बट उसमें भी वी कैन क्रिएट अ पॉइंट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट जहाँ पे एक्सट्रीम एंड होता है हॉलवे का वेयर यू एक्चुअली अर्ज टू वॉक थ्रू दैट should be the focal point so that it gives you a little sense of excitement while you're walking through that hallway to the end point. Focusing on the nameplate on the exterior of the building is important to add the identity to the building. This can be achieved either by a strong light or probably a sharp contrast of the color. While focal points किसी भी रूम को एंकर करते हैं, it is very important that other things are built around it with a color to make it like a feature so that it becomes a complete and interesting story. Say if you're highlighting a TV unit, then stick the wallpaper on the walls that blend with the unit. हर जगह कुछ ना कुछ करना जरूरी नहीं होता. A painting on the wall facing the TV unit, just a flower vase, a table mat, a placemat, they all create a spectacular view, but they all bind into that focal point. So you can also enhance by arranging the furniture so that it faces the window, and that window becomes a focal point. So you can have very nice curtains, drape them around, kind of replace them with more flattering set of blends into, so that you can look into the exterior and it becomes like a story. So your exterior is entering into the interior and it's becoming like a complete picture. How do we identify a focal point? So if you enter into a room as a stranger and see the first thing that catches your eye, now frame that as a focal point and decorate that as a focal point, make it heavier, and to balance it, you kind of blend everything together. So these are just a few tips to say about focal points, and there can be innumerous other ways in which you can add things like accessories, plants, carpets, rugs, curtains, decoration pieces, or probably your individualized feature. Painting one wall in a different color, applying wallpaper, some things which you can probably add to characterize that look. Similarly, you can play with lighting, which can also enhance the whole idea of a wall or anything. But ultimately, it is your home, and ultimately, it should feel like your place. Which I would say that every home reflects your soul. It should reflect the soul of the person living into that house, and not just go by the rules. Thank you, friends. I'm Sapna Agarwal, Creative Director of Ansa Interiors, and today I was talking about how to create focal points in the room, in your exterior, and also in the areas which are really boring, like hallways or passageways. Stay tuned into our channel. Thank you. Bye.